entrance. Don't ruin it, Michelle. Okay. Pretend you didn't see that. Oh. See, yeah, that's it. See what? There we go. Hello, Comic Con Liverpool. Are you all right? Are you all ready to welcome Michelle Gomez to the stage? Yeah. Well, please, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all denominations, please welcome to the stage, Michelle Gomez! Thank you for coming. I've gathered that it's been a bit of a stressful one to get through, everybody. You got your rider, by the way. One dog on the front.
Okay.
What's the name?
Anyway, hello.
Star, there you go.
Here we are.
2 stars, there we go. Michelle, thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
Do you have a nice trip over that? We always like to sort of look.
Oh, no.
No, all right.
No. Do not fly Aer Lingus. The IT was down at JFK, so they had to handwrite manually every single boarding pass, and it was a 3-hour delay.
Wow.
Yeah.
But apparently Terminators will kill us all. So all this electronical stuff, it's all nonsense. But
I know. You saw people like turn up at the airport like full of hope that they were going on a journey. And and it was so bad they ran out of burgers. That was the worst.
Wow.
That was the worst.
In America.
I was like, oh, what do you mean I have to have salad? Yeah. So anyway, but we're here.
You're here now.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I've never been to Liverpool.
Wow, this is the home of comedy. You're funny.
Oh, it was brilliant. It's been really lovely so far.
Oh, right, okay. That sounds ominous. It's been great so far. However, later on tonight,
I wanted to go on the wheel, but it was.
You'll have time. You're
it was closed for repair or something. So hopefully it's back up.
Michelle Gomez, we'll get that open. Come on in. So there's seats all over. They're dotted around.
Come on,
squeeze in.
Arses down.
If there's space there.
On the stairs, fair enough.
It is after 12 o'clock, so we are allowed to use the word arses. Is there any children under 12 here? Yeah, we can swear.
Oh, there, under 12, okay.
Oh, there's one. Okay, no swears.
See.
Mild swears. What's the worst swear that... No. So, you've moved to America, haven't you? You're a naturalised American?
Yeah, but I have been there for 20 years.
Oh, right, okay.
But recently I was, as they say, naturalised. Recently I got my citizenship.
Yeah. And but you've managed to keep your accent a little bit.
That doesn't seem to have gone anywhere.
Twang of the Glasgow. So you grew up in Glasgow?
See, she's away in as well.
Oh, hang a minute.
Do you need to come on in?
People are worried. They've already started.
Come on in.
Cover that girl's in. So
There's your room here. Come on in.
She is a time lady, but she doesn't mind bad timekeeping. It's fine. It's fine. We can rewind all this. We can go back into. There you go. Get sat down. There you go.
It's not Jimmy Kimmel.
It's so relaxed. So what was I going to say is take us through how you got into acting and everything like that. How it all started. Because you started really early, didn't you? You'd seen stuff on the stage.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember not being an actor. I don't know. I can't remember when I was a normal person. So yeah, it was very young, and I think I saw a production on the stage of Kiss Me Kate. I don't know. I must have been like 10, maybe 8 or 10, at the King's Theatre in Glasgow, and I was such a narcissist even then. I thought that they were talking to me, and they were just doing their job, and I was kind of like hooked from a very early age. I didn't actually get to be a proper actor until I grew into this face. Because nobody knew what to do with it for a while until they were like, oh, she'll just play madams.
Yeah.
Madams or masters, madams or masters.
Madame, madam, it's amazing. Was it natural for you to do that? With like, it seems like in Glasgow at that time period, was a lot of people pushing to do acting, or was you supposed to go through school and you're supposed to do that?
No, I mean, I had to move to London to kind of get to where I needed to go, which I guess is kind of sad, because that tends to happen. I suppose, like, wherever you're from, sometimes you have to move away from where you come from and then you can return. But I did go to drama school in Glasgow, but for 3 years, I think the third year running, they let me in. The first 2 years, they didn't. And then eventually they said, you know, we don't think like you're kind of cut out to be an actor, but we think you make a good teacher. So if you want to do the teaching course, and I was like, okay. No, I was like, I'm glad that I did that, because I know that once this dries up, I'll go back to teaching. But I don't know who wants to be taught by me. But I am quite passionate about theatre and education. I don't think anybody can necessarily teach you how to be an actor. I think you sort of learn that along the way. Depending on who you work with, you know, you'll pick up lots of great tips and information on the job. So I don't think you can necessarily teach that in 3 years in drama school, but I do believe that theatre and education is a really important thing that we must keep funding and resourcing out, because I think the place there in education just gives kids that don't have a confidence and don't have a voice, it can really help with that, against bullying and against, you know, just finding their own inner strengths. So I don't know how I ended up talking about this, but I do have an off button, so you can maybe some other people.
There'll be some points where people just come through the doors because they go, is this Lost Boys? No, it's around the corner.
No, it's that old bag off the telly.
Talk about what we just talked about then. When did you sort of think to yourself, oh, I'm getting this, I get how to, you know...
Last week.
Just bluff.
I don't know if I've ever... No, it's all bluff. It's all like, I'm just going to get away with this. Yeah, I mean, I have been doing it for a while now, so I know that I have certain kind of skill that people will pay for. I sound like a prostitute.
What a great time for these people to come in. If there's any spaces that anybody can see.
I know, it's terrible. Oh, there you go. Hi now.
Got little cameras and everything.
So, yes, no, to answer your question, I don't know, like, if I ever feel like I've got it, like, I just feel like I'm always really relieved when I've got a job. I'm always surprised that somebody's employed me, and then I just try and sort of bring something on the day. Like, I don't overthink it. I try and stay as free as I can, and just have as much fun as I can, and then we'll see how that cuts in the final edit. If I'm still in it, I'm always relieved.
You started off acting and doing the theatre stuff, but you've got I would say that, I know that I've seen you do stand-up as well. You've done the Comedy Store in America. So there is always a bit of mischievousness in some of the stuff you do, and a bit of slapstick as well, I think. Have you done a lot of comedy, or is it just comedic acting?
The comedy, the stand-up was an accident. I just had a kid, a baby, a child, called Harry, human being. He was like 9 months old, and I was like, oh, what the fuck have I done? And I got in the car and I was living in LA and drove to Sunset Boulevard, and I saw the Comedy Store, and I realised, I was like, oh, I remember that. And I went in, they were doing like an open mic night, and I was full of piss and vinegar, and just like, the fuck fucking breastfeeding, oh my God. And like freaked out, like being a mum. And I got up there and just like spewed all this stuff about being a Scottish Mexican coming across the border. And then they offered me the main stage on a Friday night. And I was like, I'm a classically trained actress. I'll see you next Friday.
I would ask you to do a bit of it.
So that was it. Like that was the extent of my stand-up.
We can't get you to do a lot of the stuff that you did on there because.
No.
There's words that
no,
12-year-olds should not hear.
No, it was definitely not with our young friend here.
Yes. But did you enjoy it though? Because
I enjoyed being angry and getting off my chest. And I think about maybe I'll do it again at some point. But it's all about the timing.
And you obviously went into a lot of comedic stuff as well.
I mean, I was never meant to be a comedian. Like I was a classically trained actress, I'll have you know. You know, I did a bit of Ibsen, a bit of Pinter, a bit of Shakespeare, and the reviews were always like, "That's the funniest thing I've ever seen," and I was like, "Okay." And so I didn't know that I was funny until I was told. Come on, then.
Come in.
No, just come in.
Come in. There's some space.
Oh, God.
You've left your friend.
What's your name?
Barbara.
Sit down here, Barbara. Come on, Barbara. Sit down. There we are. This is Barbara.
If everybody comes out, we can't do it for everybody.
Chase the stage. I'd be like Harry Styles. Chasing the stage.
So obviously we're here to talk about some of your best roles, and obviously who wants to talk about Missy? Because we'll go through it. Madam Satan. Madam Rouge. We'll start with Rouge and then build up. You're a Whovian, aren't you? You actually wanted to play the part of something in Doctor Who.
I wanted to play the part of anything in Doctor Who, and they offered me a role that I couldn't do because I couldn't physically be there. I can't resist this joke because I don't have a TARDIS. I'm sorry. And so I wrote to Stephen Moffat and said, you know, really, like, I'm devastated that I can't do this, and I've always wanted to be in Doctor Who, and I love Doctor Who, and blah, blah, blah. But if ever you need a high cheekboned, blue-eyed villain, I'm your man. I didn't know that was going to lead to being the master, but that, I think, apparently nudged Stephen Moffat in my direction, yeah.
Cogs in his head. It was a great starring against Capaldi as well.
Yes!
Another start up there. Another swears go, "Pace word!"
That only works here in Britain. In America, is that a pattern? Yeah, no, it was wonderful. We had such an easy, I think you can see that, like, we're very comfortable together, and it was just a very easy energy.
Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna open it up to everybody. We will start with Doom Patrol, and then we'll go to Sabrina, and then to Who, if that's okay. So where's the Doom Patrol? I know there was a question.
It's about another show.
Oh, the flight attendant! Oh, that is a great show.
Yeah, there's a few. Oh, okay. Sure, there's some dandruff patrol for that.
The flight attendant, that is. I like that one. Oh, Jesus! Sorry, Star. Those dog treats I've got in my pocket. Yes. Where did you go? Oh, you're there. You passed that now.
Hi guys. Missy Capina.
My favourite too. And that's what was your favourite scene to film in The Flight Attendant, and how was it filming in Iceland?
Star, sit. Star, please. Kicking the shit out of that handsome boy in the elevator. Quite like that moment, because he was like, oh my god, this is so difficult. I'm like, it's not. I'm just going to kick the shit out of you. And you're going to like it. And he did. What was the other question?
How was it filming in Iceland?
Oh, filming in Iceland was wonderful, but very dark, because there's only 4 hours of daylight. So you wake up in the morning, it's so weird to see the kids going to school in the pitch black. Star. And walkies. Oh my god, it's like watching César, isn't it? Yes, Iceland. No, you know, there's a reason why they drink the way they drink. Because there's no daylight. But it is incredible and very beautiful. And I do want to go back there because there's a lovely spa.
Next question. Who's hands up? Oh, we'll go here. Let's go. Pass it down if you want to pass it to the front. There you go, send a new job.
Hello, I want to ask about Sabrina and what your favourite scene in the show was.
When I ripped my face off and revealed, you know, who I was, and it was bad. It was bad under there. It was really scary under there. It was such an amazing role. I just got to just sass about, which was fab. Most of the scenes I did with Kiernan were probably up there as being some of my favourites. But yeah, I loved that specifically, that moment of reveal. It was just wrong.
Oh, there you go, behind. Just pass it round in a circle.
Hi there. So the Master has like distinctive styles, and Missy had a very distinctive style. And I wonder how much say did you have in the fashion that you got to wear as Missy when you were Missy?
I didn't have any say in that. There's been other jobs where I've been able to really collaborate with the designer, costume designer, but on the Master or / the Missy, it was very much decided before I think I was even on board that it was going to be that look, because Stephen Moffat has this, it's just such a funny and iconic image that Mary Poppins is the most evil woman in the universe. I couldn't really top that. So I was like, yes, I agree, that's genius, and I'll have it in my size. Thank you.
There we go. Go. Grief, everybody. There. Go here. I'm just a bit lazy, that's what this is.
Hi, what were your opinions on the crossover between Child Adventures Sabrina and the Dial?
Well, initially, I was like, oh, fuck off, get your own idea. And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess. You know, you're so, like, in one world, like, you're so immersed in your world that to have the crossover to something else, get really proprietorial and lazy. And it didn't happen, ultimately, in the end, really. I believe Kiernan, like, made a shift into that world. That's tough when you do that, you know, because I feel like it kind of dilutes each project in a way. I hope nobody's filming this or quotes me. So if you are filming me or quoting me, I will say that it would have been amazing.
Hi, I just wondered, how much of your actual personality is actually Missy? Because we all know in real life you're an actual crazy bonkers lady, which is why I love you so much.
What are you talking about? Have you seen my beef toe?
Do it.
Oh my God, that sounds so disgusting. For anybody who's not actually seen my... You might have to go and check that out, what that is, what that means. Anyway, I think a lot, to answer your question, of me was in Missy, but a lot of me is in all of my characters, because I don't stray that far from who I am, and that's just a very lazy way of bringing an authenticity to each role that I play, because that's also in the casting, you know, casting tends to choose an energy or an image or something that, you know, that's easily applicable to each character. No, come in! No, just keep coming! I hope you find yourself a seat there, coming in so late. But yes, there's always a lot of me in there for sure. But with Missy, it was written with my voice in mind, because Stephen Moffat is no fool.
First of all, I wanted to say that it's absolutely lovely to have you here, and I hope you're enjoying Liverpool as much as you can enjoy Liverpool.
Nicely put.
But a lot of your characters have these really deep intricacies in them, especially for Sabrina playing Lilith as well as playing Miss Wardwell. What do you think was your biggest acting challenge within all of your series and films?
Actually, it sort of goes back to what I was just touching on, is to find something authentic in each character. I think for me, makes it easier for the audience to engage with, because you feel like you're looking and you're investing in something real in the character. So the challenge is always to find something redeeming, because I am playing a lot of witches and bitches these days. And you know, that can start to get a little old, a little like one-dimensional or two-dimensional. But I'd like it to be three-dimensional. And so for that to happen, it means I need to find something that's redeeming. I need to know, why are they the way they are? Like, that always interests me, especially as I get older. I guess that's called compassion or empathy. I don't know. Because, you know, we're all living this crazy life that we're living, and we all have good days and bad days and some kind of mellow days, but you know, oftentimes when somebody's an asshole, which is often, there's a reason. Like now, instead of me reacting to that, I now think, oh no, you know, maybe they're having a bad day, because I know I've had a few of them. And so the challenge is to find something real in those characters, so that they're not just, you know, bonkers. No, we like bonkers.
Aside from Peter Capaldi, out of all of the Doctors through history, who would you most like to have gone toe-to-toe with as Missy, and why?
I think that's because each generation has their own Doctor. Mine was kind of a crossover between Pertwee and Baker. So I think as a little, you know, as a child, as a young girl, like for me to even imagine that I would have been in the same universe as those guys would blow my mind. So to maybe have like gone reversed a little into the past and have gone toe to toe with either one of them would have been, well, it is unimaginable, isn't it? Because I'm not here anymore. Weird.
His son,
A bit dark.
Sean could be his dad.
Yeah, I'd take Sean. I'd take Sean. Yeah, I'd take
Yes.
Sean. Sean would be fine.
What's the kung fu he does? I'm opening up the kung fu that that we did?
Kung Fu Panda?
That was it. Say it again. Venusian Aikido. I knew somebody would have the answer for that. There we go.
You're going with Kung Fu Panda.
Hi, Michelle. Hi. I'm the crazy lady that called the puppy Missy. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you are. So many of these panels never dared ask the question, but she did have to. Yeah. I love Missy to death. I think she's the best character ever in Doctor Who. However, Sue White, really, we're watching it again, and every time I think she's the best character in the programme. How much free rein were you given with all the vile and crazy things that she did? A lot.
Because I think at one point they just locked off the camera and left me in a room of my own most lunch times. And then they just, then they just popped me on a camel one day and sent me down a hospital wing, which was real. The camel was real and the hospital was real. So, yeah. I remember, I was about to give up this acting lark before I went in for Sue White because it was not happening. I wasn't getting anywhere. And I was like, right, that's it. This is the last one. And I went in and I think I kicked the furniture. Or I did something that wasn't very cool. And they put me together with Steve Mangan. And they're like, just improvise, just see what happens. And happened. The two of us went crazy, and that's where all that. Oh, I can't swear because of the. Yeah. There was a scene where Steve and I are in my office, and I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I basically just started to say to him.
I wish I could sign at this point.
And for those of the younger members of the audience, I said to Steve, I like your hair. You've got lovely skin. Do you want to kiss me? Not you. Okay, let's move right along.
Next question. Let's pass this down the line. Could you pass that backwards? Over to the side.
Hi. My question was just about Missy. Was there anything that you did with Missy that you maybe got from the previous incarnations of the Master? And is there anything that you wish that you could have done differently now?
No, I think it was perfect. So with regards to part A of your question, I didn't really want to delve too deeply into what had gone before because it was all played by men. And I just wanted to respond to what was on the page for me in real time and make it as fresh as I could and make it mine as much as I could. And so that's just another way of saying I did no research. And would I go back and change anything? No, I wouldn't.